Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to you from a typical American home in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. Since January of 1960, this family of smiling and happy people have undergone a change. You might say they've been engaged in a new and different type of experiment. Sir, as head of this average family, what was this new experience undergone by you and the members of your household?
Well, after 2 years of brushing with Crest toothpaste, our group had 21% fewer cavities with Crest. This shows a rate of economic growth. Therefore, it is not with too much concern that I say a raise from 25 to 35 is not completely out of accord when compared with the current financial deficit on hand. Now, I trust that answers your question about your weekly allowance, Caroline. Next question.
Yes, I should like to ask a question about...
Would you stand, please?
Yes, I should like to ask a question about...
Would you identify yourself, please?
I'm your wife. I should like to ask the following question.
No, speak English, Jackie.
I noticed that you didn't touch your salad, either at dinner tonight or at dinner last night. Would you tell us why, please?
Well, let me say this about that. Now, number one, in my opinion, the fault does not lie as much with the salad as it does with the dressing being used on the salad. Now, let me say that I have nothing against the dairy industry. However, I would prefer it if in the future we stuck to coleslaw. Next question. Yes, the baby in the back row, baby John. Well, I believe I answered that question at dinner last night. Now, if you remember, here is what I said at that time. Oodie waddy body bitty doo, waddy da, oodie waddy woo. Yes, next question.
Yes, I should like to ask a question regarding the daily bag.
Identify yourself, please.
I'm the house nurse.
All right, nurse, move ahead with your question.
Well, there seems to be some confusion as to the toys to be taken into the bathtub. Now, Caroline's toys are getting mixed up with John's. And I should like to know once and for all whose toys are who.
Yes, well, let me make a judgment about that. Now, the following toys have been appropriated for tub use. 18 PT boats, 3 Yogi Bear beach balls, 2 Howdy Doody plastic bouncing clowns, a ball of silly putty, and a rubber swan. Now, let me make a judgment on the dispersal of these items. 9 of the PT boats, 2 of the Yogi Bear beach balls, the ball of silly putty belonged to Caroline. 9 of the PT boats, 1 of the Yogi Bear beach balls, and the 2 Howdy Doody plastic bouncing clowns are baby John's. The rubber swan is mine. Next question.
Your wife, and in regard to our grocery bill, I think the food prices for this house are way out of control. Would you care to comment on that?
Yes, let me say this about that. Now, I noticed the other night we had the King Shad and all of his wives to dinner, and you served the 79-cent spread instead of margarine. Now, I think you overlooked a considerable saving there, because you really can't tell the difference between margarine and the higher price spread. And believe me, if you can, King Shao can't. Time for one final question.
Me, Daddy.
I had my hand up first.
You did not. I had my hand
You
up
did not,
first.
Caroline. I had my hand up first.
You did not. I had my hand up first.
Now, I want you youngsters to stop fighting among yourselves. So go ahead, Bobby. I think you were first. Well, I should like to straighten out the... Would you stand, please, Bob? I would like to discuss yesterday's touch football game with you. Now, on 3 different occasions, I was tackled. Once by Senator Dirksen, once by Senator Goldwater, and once by Mr. Hoffa. Now, as Attorney General, I can tell you that a tackle in touch football is illegal, and you should have called a penalty. Yes, Bob, you are the Attorney General. But when you play here, you play by my rules, or you don't play at all. And I guess you know why. Why? Because it's my ball, that's why.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
The Malayan ambassador for dinner.
1 moment, sir. The Malayan ambassador for dinner.
The Malayan ambassador for dinner.
The Malayan ambassador for dinner.
Daddy, it's the Malayan ambassador for dinner.
Tell him it's tomorrow night.
Family, family, family. Jack, there's just too much family. Can't we ever get away alone?
Tomorrow. I promise tomorrow we'll go away together tomorrow. No more family for a while now, I promise. Now, turn off the light. Good night, Jackie.
Good night, Jack.
Good night, Bobby. Good night, Ethel.
Good night, Teddy. Good night, Meader.
Now, Cooper, we're here to prepare you, so pay attention. You've only got a few minutes. Grissom here and Glenn and Carpenter and Shepard and Shirah have all been through this, so they can fill you in. Glenn?
Well, Coop, it's the start that's the problem. You've got to relax. The initial force takes over, and then all you have to do is guide. Shirah, you had a little trouble with the suit. Why don't you tell Coop about it?
Well, I figured that the suit was too loose. I'd recommend making sure of a really snug fit. Carpenter?
The most important thing is not to panic when you fall in the water. Just settle down and wait, and somebody will be sure to pick you up. You got it, Coop?
Well, I'm grateful for the advice, fellas, but to tell you the honest truth, I'm scared. But you all went through it, so I guess I can.
Good boy, Coop. Now, you ready?
Ready, Mr. Webb.
Okay, now get down to the dock and put on your water skis. Jackie's waiting. Yes, sir?
Fill her up, please.
Just this car?
No, all 70 of them, and the motorcycle.
Yes, sir.
By the way, do you give green stamps?
No, sir, we don't.
Forget it.
Mr. Pablo Casal.
How do you do, Mr. Casals?
Hello, Pablo. Welcome.
Mr. Leonard Bernstein.
How do you do, Mr. Bernstein?
Hello, Leonard. Nice of you to come.
Dr. Albert Schweitzer.
How do you do, Doctor?
Hello, Albert. Hope you had a nice trip.
Jackie,
Yes.
why is it always your friends?
This is Charles Collingsworth at the White House in Washington, D.C. For many of you, this will be your first visit to this historical landmark. Our tour through these hallowed halls will be conducted by the First Lady.
Good evening, Charles.
Good evening. Shall we begin here in the West Wing?
Yes. If your cameras will just move through these oak panel doors over here on our left, we will be in the Calvin which was named after our 35th president. I can't help but wish your cameramen had opened the doors before they moved their heavy cameras through them. The doors, incidentally, were a gift from Mrs. R.C. Greenleaf of Raleigh, North Carolina. They were made out of solid oak, and up until a few seconds ago, they stood over 15 feet high.
They were lovely.
Now we are approaching the Thomas Jefferson room, which I think you'll find rather interesting. President Jefferson used to come into this room and sit for hours just gazing out the window at the White House lawn. The White House lawn was a gift from Mrs. W.C. Ridgway of Hollyhock, Virginia. The president and I decided to leave it just the way it was originally.
It's lovely.
This football, which has just come crashing through the $5,000 President McKinley French windows, belongs to the current president, who, of course, is also my husband.
He's lovely.
Now we're entering the President Grant drawing room, which I think you'll find rather interesting. We decided to leave this room just the way it was when President Grant left office.
I do notice a lot of dust on the furniture in here.
Yes, and that dust was a gift from Mrs. Landon of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Now, if you'd care to follow me down this hall to the next room, as we go, I should like to point out the various paintings on the wall.
Yes, I wish you would point them out.
Well, there's this one, and this one. And that great big one over there, and this little teeny one down here. And finally this one over here.
Thank you for pointing them out. What's in this room over here?
I believe we are standing in front of the President Monroe Conference Room.
Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling.
It's so easy to get confused. It's such a big house. Now I believe straight ahead of us is the Blue Room. Yes, this is the Blue Room. We decided to leave it just the way President Blue had it originally. Now we are in the East Wing. This is the section we are having completely remodeled. All the rooms are being changed around.
Yes, the carpenters certainly are busy, aren't they?
Aren't they, though? And those carpenters were a gift from Mr. and Mrs. Bianchi of Hayworth, New Jersey. I find it quite easy to get lost in this section.
Yes, I imagine one could get lost in here.
I seem to have made the wrong turn somewhere. Now, I'm trying to find the bedroom. I just came out of the John Hancock bathroom where I was taking a shower in the Alexander Hamilton bathtub. And I think
The
that...
carpenters and painters here have been just working like beavers round the clock. We hope to have it finished
Which
in
way is
May,
the bedroom? The bedroom is where?
Actually, the original schedule didn't call for it to be completed until July, but the work has gone on.
I should like to point out that I am standing here in my shorts, dripping wet. Now, important conference in 15 minutes, so I must be dressed in 10 minutes, which means I shall have to move ahead toward our bedroom with great vigor.
Excuse me, Charles. Dear, go down this hall to the Andrew Jackson smoking room, then turn right into the President Taft rumpus room, across over through the Woodrow Wilson ping pong room, then left at the Dolly Madison pinochle room, through the President Grant drinking room, past the Richard Nixon dumbwaiter. And that's our room.
Well, let's see. Now I go past the Dolly Madison ping pong room, across the Richard Nixon the drinking room, and then I go left at the Andrew Jackson.
Wasn't that your husband?
Yes, it was.
He's a magnificent-looking man.
Yes. And we decided to leave him just the way he was. Incidentally,